So now that you know your boxing basics, you are probably going to want to learn how to wrap your hands so that you can actually have some protection and put on your boxing gloves. So I'm going to break down really quick how to do a quick wrap with the more traditional wraps. You can definitely get let me flip these inside out. These are from when I coach boxing, but you can definitely get ones that are already kind of like pre-done, where they've got the finger holes and the hand hole, and then they just wrap around your wrist and call it good. And they've got a little extra protection on the knuckles. Otherwise, I'm going to show you how to do the traditional wraps because they're an option. They're easy. They're going to look like this when they're unwrapped or like this when you get them. So let's dive in. And again, if you would like some boxing combo examples for the bag, definitely join my newsletter down below and you'll get a few combo ideas to kind of get you started. So these are going to be what they look like when they come in. Again, they might look like this once you got them, but you're just going to do this and unroll because what we need is at the very end. So once you get to the very end, you're going to have this loop, and there's usually going to be something that says this side up, so that also helps. But wherever the seam is, that's going to be underneath. But this is your thumb. So your thumb goes in here and you pull down. So you don't want any of this to be like extremely tight. And you are going to notice as you do this more, as you do the boxing combos and kind of see how your body and hands and knuckles respond based off of previous injuries or just kind of how you are currently, you might need to adjust. But this is the basics to get started, what I do, what works for me, and kind of suggestions will go from there. But you're not going to want to pull super tight, but tight enough that there isn't any looseness up here. So you're going to pull down towards the other side of your hand. You're going to come down and around. I say 3 times around. Again, you don't want it super tight, but tight, and so not super tight, but tight enough that it's going to stay put. So once you got 3 times around, you're going to come up and around your palms and the base of your fingers. And again, we're going to do that 3 times. Again, not super tight, but tight enough. Once you got that 3 or 4 time around, and again, you want to keep this as flat as possible. You're going to come down around the wrist one more time. From here, we're going to go up through the fingers. So we've got it down here. I'm going to come up and around through the pointer finger. So how that looks from here, up and around, and then pulling down. So from here, it's just kind of personal preference. So I pull down, go around the wrist one more time, and then I'm going to come up and back around. So again, from the palm down around the wrist again. And then the last one is going to be up through the pinky and the ring again, coming down around the wrist. From here, we are going to, so you came back down and around the wrist one more time. From here, we're going to go back up and across the knuckles. I would say do this 2 to 3 more times. I personally go a little bit higher, so it's kind of getting towards that bottom knuckle, just because it gives you a little bit more cushion and protection. From here, I like to go around the thumb. So you did your 3 around here. You're going to come back down around the thumb to kind of close that up, okay? So you're just tying around your thumb. And then I also like to do one more time the other way, just to give a little bit more support. And then from here, it's whatever you got left. So around the wrists, around the knuckles, until you are good to go there, okay? So that's going to be kind of a basic one. Everything is closed, covered, nice and neat. So I'll do the other one just so you kind of have a quick look at it, and then we'll go from there. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty. There are going to be days where it's like, I know what to do. Why does this look so ugly? But other days it'll be just fine. So, and you'll get the hang of it. So don't worry about feeling like you need to go fast or make it super pretty. Like, this is your workout. You're literally not waiting for anybody else unless like you're, and again, you can go either way, one or the other. I'm just doing this really quick. But again, this is your workout. Unless you have a workout partner, you literally don't need to worry about like what anybody else is doing. So it's literally whatever works best for you. And like I said, I've had some wrist and hand issues in the past, so I figured out kind of what works best for me. I was a baker for about a year, and that definitely gave some wear and tear on my body. So I need to be kind of a little bit more aware of that. Like one of my hands needs to be a little bit more protected, or sometimes like my wrist really hurts, so I need to make sure I do a few more times around the wrist, or my thumb isn't feeling very good, so I want to stabilize that a little bit more. But again, so they're both a little bit different, but they cover the same thing. And in case you need some help with the gloves, because like how are you supposed to do it with mitts? These are so simple. Okay, so one hand's going to be easiest. You're just going to pull it across nice and tight. The other one, going to kind of use your body. So you're going to pull it here, shove it in, kind of push it with the other one, and then you're just going to hook it. Okay, so you got that underside. There is a little bit of give, not a whole awful lot, but then you're just going to pull it across, and there you go. And then the same thing. Again, it is going to be a little bit of wear and tear, but there will be a little spot for you to kind of pull up, squeeze, pull, and you're good to go. That's how you're going to take them off and on, and you are good to go. The other thing that I would recommend is make sure that since it is, your hands are already in like a boxing grip, don't feel the need to squeeze super tight. Kind of keep this loose, okay? Because the more you squeeze, the more you're going to put tension on your hands, on your wrists, and then it's not going to be fun, especially once you start hitting the bag. Even though everything is cushioned here, it is going to be wear and tear, and it's just going to send all the way down your arm, and you don't want that, okay? So again, if you want some combos, grab the newsletter down below. Otherwise, if you have gotten this down, but you need to know the basics of boxing, then definitely check out this next video where I'm going to break down the basics that you're going to need, especially if you are just wanting to do this in the garage for fun, something that you enjoy, and you don't necessarily need or want to do it professionally. I am not a professional. We are doing this for fun cardio, okay? So definitely check that video out, and I will see you in the next one.